everybody. It's Trish Palmer from the Australian Hypnosis Conference, and I'm having a quick chat with Stuart Walter today. He presented last year, and we've invited him back to talk on a breakfast panel, which is our first time doing it. And we thought we'd just have a bit of funsy doing it, and we're going to be talking about some of the ups and downs of business. So, Stuart, I just saw on, was it yesterday or the day before, you had like 10 people in the Grand Prix that you... Yeah, tell me more.
In the support categories, I've been working with race drivers. It's one of my passions is motor racing. And I worked with one driver, might have been about 8 years ago now, who ended up going through what they call the Porsche pyramid. So they start at the bottom, then they go back up. Then they go into the Sprint Challenge Series or the Michelin Juniors. Then they go into the Carrera Cup Australia. He won that series and he got a shot at the international out, and he won that scholarship. So then he became a Porsche Junior factory driver based in Europe, based in Germany.
Whoa!
And now he's racing all the Le Mans series, Le Mans 24-hour, all the World Endurance Series.
Wow, that's epic.
So that's Matt Campbell, and 2 years later did exactly the same with Jackson Evans. He followed the same thing, won the international shootout. So I've been working with a lot of the Porsche drivers, and then they get split into the S5000, the open wheeler the categories. So it's just one of those things that's just kind of snowballed for me, and one of my passions is actually motor racing. So we're at that point now where I'm helping and sponsoring a lot of junior athletes coming through.
And how did you first get into that? Because I guarantee you that I'm going to put this out there, 99% of hypnotherapists are never going to meet a big name sports legend to help them advance with their careers. So how did you get into that and get over the nerves and stuff?
For me, working with them, it was natural. I've come from a sports background, being martial arts.
Oh, nice.
So I was doing state and national titles. So I was already kind of in that realm of working with Olympians. One of my former neighbours was an Olympic bronze medalist, Commonwealth Games gold medal swimmer. So I always had a good connection with her. She introduced me to a few people, and it just kind of snowballed. So for me, you know me. I love the elite. I love the people who push the limits of mind and body.
And do you think they're different to the average client that say I would get for gut? Yeah. So what's so different about them?
They have to push the limits. I mean, I've always done it. And look, I'm surrounded by reminders of doing that. There's more of my goals in front of me. And for me, it's every successful person that I've read about or researched in my 16 years in business now, they've always done something. They've always been able to put fear aside and people judging them. And I think the greatest, and this is something for people, the greatest fear I find with athletes is fear of success.
Yeah.
It's not the fear of failure, because if you had a fear of spiders or something, you'd move away from it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're naturally wired to move away from fears. But if you had a fear of success, you'd naturally be held back.
It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? Because that's what they're going for.
Yeah, we all want success, but success can, if you look at, say, the Tiger Woods of the world, success is then you've got no privacy. Your life is fully exposed. You're open, you're vulnerable. If you look at a lot of, say, for example, swimmers, Australian swimmers, they go overseas and they're automatically connected up to the issue back in 2012 with still knocks and drugs. So they're pushing themselves towards success, where success could be a real slap in the face.
Yeah, I must admit, I have to agree with that, because have you heard of Jordan Peterson?
Yes.
Yeah, so I love Jordan Peterson's work. Honestly, I think if I ever had a conversation with him, I'd be just sitting there going, "Oh, don't talk."
It was actually funny. One of my clients phoned up the other day and said, I was talking to a guy and they mentioned Jordan Peterson, and he said, I was having a chat, and he goes, "No, I'm actually Jordan Peterson."
Oh, wow.
And he said, I'm going to see this guy. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, Stuart, heard of him. He's good." I went,
yeah.
I'll take that.
One thing I love about Jordan Peterson and how realistic he is and how constructive he is, and he always takes that time to pause, to think, and then react rather than just going reactionary. But
Yeah.
one thing I have noticed a lot in his recent interviews, and I said this to John when we were watching one, is I honestly think that he feels like he's not worthy of all the success of the strangers that approach him and say, "You have changed my life with
Yeah.
your book or with your
And,
small
and it's
things."
confronting. It really is. I've had the
Yeah.
same in Brisbane. I was going up and down an elevator to go and see my accountant of all things. And someone said, and they're looking at me and going, "Are you Stuart?" I went, "Yeah." He goes, "You're a therapist?" I went, "Yeah." "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I bought your book and it changed my life." And it was, you're just not ready for it. It's a real,
Yeah. Yeah. I had a
and
lady hug me in a hotel when I was in Melbourne,
yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, you're Trish Palmer." And I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, and she was just a short, gorgeous little thing, and she came up,
mm,
she just hugged me from the front, and I'm like, "Hello. Um, what do I do now?" And she goes, "I've read your gut book. I feel so amazing now. Thank you so
yeah,
much." And I didn't even know how to respond because I was like, "This is great. I've changed someone's
yeah.
life, but I've just got this random person hugging me in the middle of a hotel," sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's really off-putting. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, with these elite people, they've got to do something different. They've really got to push,
Yeah.
because as I find it, there's a lot of incredible people who are fighting to become average.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't want
Yeah.
to stand out. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be judged. Uh, People that are going, yeah, but I could buy this Porsche, but what are people going to think of me? Or what if? What if?
Yeah,
What if?
yeah. And I've
And
heard a lot of people that win the lottery, how their lives change like that. Like, I wish I hadn't won the money because there was this attention that came
yeah.
with it that I wasn't comfortable with. So
And that's the thing you're
yeah.
going to find in business. It's exactly the same. I mean, the way I work with athletes is basically what I do for myself to keep myself motivated and keep on point and keep focused.
Yeah, yeah,
And
good.
it's horrible. You'd have the same where people are absolutely volatile. Here's you changing your
Narcissistic.
life to change the lives of others, and you're really building towards success.
Yeah.
And you've got all this incredible hate coming back, and you go, what have I got to deserve this?
Yes,
It's like, I
yes.
just want to help people. So you've got to look at our own inner strength
Yeah.
to be able to withstand that. And this is why so many people, they don't want to stand out, because all of a sudden you get questioned, you get judged, you get this pushback, you get this professional jealousy, you get the slap in the face.
Yeah, I had this conversation with just my students just yesterday, and I said to them, I said, I call this the opportunity angels. So these are people that want a slice of your pie, but only to brand themselves to kind of knock you down at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that it's like that.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's strange. I mean, with so many athletes I work with, they go, oh, it's just a tall poppy syndrome, and just kind of throw it aside. But it's not, because we love successful people in the sports, arts,
yeah.
sciences, culture. We love successful people. We just don't like people we know being successful. So that's what it is, because every athlete, I mean, we want to see Olympic gold medalists, but their opposition, they don't want to see them. They want to be up there, so they want to pull them down. So there's this incredible infighting within athletes, within sports, within.
Yeah.
So
And that would come with a lot with the territory and kind of like the stigma of the industry as you got deeper and higher in the ranks.
Yeah, the more successful you become, the less friends you have, because everyone else is out to attack you and pull you back down. It's a very lonely space at the top, and that's what I find. I've got a surfer down in Bells Beach at the moment, surfing. And I was talking with him the other day, and he said, mate, I'm changing the culture. He said, I've got to change the culture of surfing.
And it all kind of changes with them.
Yeah. And he said, me standing there as a world number 2, I'm happier than doing that, because I'm going to be inspiring more people, but I don't want to be the world number 1 if I'm just after the trophy.
Yeah, and Avicii actually mentioned that in his documentary before it was released as from him passing away. So Avicii is a songwriter, and he said the more he went up into the top and the more millions and billions of dollars he earned, the more he realized that he was just a model as such for these other people to earn money off.
Yeah.
So the opportunity angels.
Yeah, because everyone wants to leverage off you. They want to leverage off your success. And I find that the more successful I became, the more people want to go, I can help you with this. Let me do this. We could do this together.
Yeah.
And you spend so much time and energy chasing this, what I call the fool's gold,
Yep.
That all of a sudden you've taken your focus off yourself and your journey because of them. They don't do anything. They just want you to do it for them.
And it's great that we're actually stepping in now and changing some of that culture and those old ways, like being more of a supportive system rather than the fool's gold, like you say, sort of thing. So
and that's a word to anyone. It's like any Olympians, that they know exactly where they're going to be on the 8th of August 2024 in Paris on the podium, because that's their opportunity. So they know what they've got to do there, and they're basically reverse engineering back to today. Right, what do I need today to do today to get to the end of the day, to do that, to do that, to do that, to be on the podium?
And how do you cope with those people that have really, really put in a lot of effort and have strived to those next level stuff, and then all of a sudden just exit or crumble for whatever reason?
This is one of the hardest things that I have to work with, as far as, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs as well, so it's exactly the same business people. But generally, the higher you go, the more they're going to crash. Equal and opposites. If you're on a high, they want to chase the high, which is where they get into drugs and cigarettes and alcohol, and to chase that natural high again that they used to have as an athlete, because they're not being noticed, they're not being seen, they're not getting stuff for free. So with every athlete, before, or as I start working with them, sure, I can help you get to the top, but you also have to understand that I have to manage you into transition back into a real world.
And that crosses over with people that go to war and all that sort of stuff, back into the average living as such.
I'm working with a former SAS soldier at the moment. It's the same sort of thing. You work with a lot of elite business people when they retire. It's exactly the same. When you look at athletes, they come crumbling down. So the higher they are, the greater the crash. Therefore, if you look at that fear of success, I know this is going to happen, but it's going to be followed by this. So therefore, how to minimize the pain is not go as high.
And one thing that I've heard of, over the many of years, is that there's a lot of people that they've gotten to this peak of success and then retired and suddenly just gotten old.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just died.
And this is why a lot of people are fearing success now, because then what happens? What if what do I do then? Or how do I? And their brains just go in this big mess, and they just flatline. It's a really strange but really interesting dynamic to go.
It is.
I know I'm partly responsible for their success, but I also know that I'm going to be responsible for their crash. Because by getting them high, they're going to have a bigger crash. So that's where I've got to work.
So this is not only a future projection, but the ultimate exit projection as well. With their futures.
I do workshops that we're talking about, like the next level. For athletes, that's good. But then I've got the beyond the next level, which is right. What's the fallout from this? How do we transition back into life?
That's really great. I love that. I love how you've explained that as well. So in the breakfast panel, we're just going to have a yarn about business and stuff like that. What are you expecting from it?
Hopefully I can get my message across that, hey, look, it's a whole lot of fun. And to expect, it's like anyone, you've got to have, if you want to have fun doing this, I'd say have a big ass goal. Really, and go for it.
Absolutely.
Because too many people go in there, I'm just going to go and make enough. But look, let's just change the whole business structure. Let's look at it and go, hang on, we want to be seen as the last resort, but we want to put it first on the list. At the moment, this is what I find. I shared an office with a business coach years ago. Okay, and she was charging $3,500–4,000 a month for business coaching these people, but their issues weren't business. Their issues were mental. She would pay for 2 or 3 sessions for their client to come and see me, that I can break through the mental aspect of it. So then she would have a more manageable client to work with, greater success. So she's getting $3,500 a month. And I'm getting 500. And you go, how's this working?
Hang on, this is not the good balance.
So for my business, and I think every hypnotherapist out there, if you want to go into the professional route, you've got to start charging those limits, those levels. And I do. And guess what? You get you got greater input, you get greater acceptance, you get greater engagement, you get greater results, because they're paying more.
And they're invested then. They're ready to go. Exactly.
Absolutely. And look, you know what it's like, and everyone who's listening, when you do it and you do it well, you're going to be exhausted.
Oh, absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
can't not work on that energetic level with people and changing things internally, be 2 steps ahead, 2 steps behind, knowing where you're going with each session and not be exhausted at the end of it. So you've got to look at this and going, hang on, you're not getting paid for an hour. You're getting paid for a third of a day or half a day.
Yep.
And
there's so many people. Like I had a conversation with a lady just the other day, and she's like, "Oh, Trish, do you have anybody that I could refer some clients to?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've got a whole thing." I said, "How?" Like, what kind of waiting period do you have? And she said 3 months. And I said, well, you've got a few options. I said, 1, you can employ someone, which has its pros and cons. I said, 2, you can outsource those people to other people, or 3, put up your prices. And she's like, I can't put up my prices. And I'm like, yes, you can, because it's called supply and demand. So if you put up your prices, yes, you're going to lose some people, but you're going to earn more in less time and have that flexibility to put in those clients that are truly invested on your waiting list.
Exactly. And you're going to find, and I do the same, I've got a referral-based system to go, hey, look, these aren't my ideal clients. If I refer that on to someone else, and maybe as an industry, we should set that up. So, right, if I refer someone gut instinct, gut-based therapy needed, I'll refer them through to you. And look, if anyone has got any athletes, I'll happily pay you 10% of what comes through. Look at that and go, because I'm going to end up with a better quality client, better quality service, because I'm working with the people I love doing. Smokers, weight loss, fears, phobias. Yeah, sure, I can do it, but it's not the thing.
Passion. And I also
someone
believe
else's passion is there. So let's just, as an industry,
it creates a better community as well. I admit, when I first came into this community, I thought we were coming into something that's really supportive and everybody would.
No.
I know, right? But it wasn't. It was immediate. Like, Trish, you've got an attitude, and you are part of a problem. And I'm like, no, hang on. You're just doing something the wrong way. Like, there are easier ways to do this. There are better ways. We can support and help each other. No, Trish. And then just ostracized, and then just got chopped off at the knees. I'm like, oh, hang on. Aren't we working in an industry of support, of leveling each other up? Like, where the fuck did I read the pamphlet wrong?
There's a certain perception, and I think the whole variation, if we can come into more of a collaborative type of industry where everyone is getting the ideal clients, where, hey, look, I'm happy to pay someone 10% of whatever as a referral fee if they're happy to reciprocate, because that way we get our ideal clients. We're known as specialists. If you're specialist, you can increase your price.
You can help out each other.
Yeah,
and it's win-win on every level.
Yeah, and every time my business gets quiet, guess what I do? I spend more time doing nothing, more time exercising, more time floating around the pool, and I'll increase my price.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't market, don't do anything, increase the price, and it booms again.
Yeah, and off it goes again. So, and it's a perfect system.
Yeah,
like it really is.
So what I guess information for those coming in, just really take a deep breath and go, right, what is my niche market, and just aim at that. Because I've done it within my association, just go, right, okay, let's really, I guess, NLP language, let's just break it all down, chunk it up. So you are Australia's #1 in something.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, at the end of the day,
it could be #1 for students in hypnosis. It could be #1 for business. It could be #1 for cancer or post, or pre and post surgery.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, at the end of the day, like, sure, we can help people with lots of different stuff, but we don't have the capacity to advertise all that different stuff. So niche it down. And I read this once in a doctor's surgery. You're better off to have 100% knowledge about one thing than 1% knowledge about 100 things. And that's what makes you a professional. And
and this is a fun thing, is because I notice it myself. You really narrow it down, so you're only working with the elite, and I've got 39 world champion athletes. So you look at that, and people read all the documentation, go, but I'm not an athlete. Can you still help me? I can help you. It's just that I can't market to everyone. So the more you narrow it down into your niche market, the more you increase the price, the more these athletes know friends and families who need support as well. So you're going to get even more business at a higher level.
Yeah,
rather than trying to
exactly.
do everything at this level. You narrow it down, you build the supply, demand, and your results up, and you're going to get the fallout from this anyway.
And I think the number one key as well is to be patient. There's so many people that
Yeah,
like, oh, I don't have a client tomorrow. My world is going to end. It's like, no, it's not. You're going to spend some time recharging. You're
yeah,
going to spend some time thinking, how is this going for me? And you're going to trust the process and keep going.
yeah.
Just keep going. Be patient. That everybody seems to want it yesterday.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
look,
and
I'm a 16-year overnight success.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
And I got, 3 weeks into my business, and I somehow generated enough clients. And I'm going, hang on, I'm fully booked already in 3 weeks. What's going on?
Yep.
And
Yep.
then you get that slap. I go,
Oh, we've all had the slap several times
yeah,
over the
it's
years.
only
So
called Christmas and the start of the year.
yes, I
And
always
this is,
take December, January off. Like it's like forget
and
it.
you have to. So you've got to look at this and going, right, you've now only got a 10-month job because you've got to earn that and carry it through. So you've got to have
Carry
at
it through.
least 2 months up in the bank.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
And this is the benefit of even going on a subscription process, or to go, right, people may not be able to afford $500 a session. But if you break it down to $25 a week, all of a sudden,
Yep.
you've got the cash flow. So when it comes to Christmas and December, January, like I did, I've got athletes that are basically, paying me right throughout that month.
And also learning as a therapist to relax into those times and
Yeah,
enjoy that time, because that's one thing I do notice a lot, that people like when they go into a relaxed time or a pause time, they
yeah,
go freak out instead. It's like, no, just enjoy being present in these moments
yeah.
and then wind up to go again. Like you
I
don't
think
have
of,
to just be
yeah,
busy,
yeah.
you
Think of
know?
it like I use example a lot with business people and with athletes. It's like body surfing.
Mhm.
Okay, you've got waves. Okay, so there's a typical group of people that just kind of stand on the beach and they get smacked by the wave and get barreled.
So many,
Yeah,
so
and then you've
many.
got the ones that don't know how to body surf and they'll just lay in front of a wave and they're getting picked up and dumped
But they're learning it.
and it's the waves washing over them. Or you got the person that's out the back there just sitting, floating around. They're floating. Wave comes up, short burst, and bang, you're coming into shore.
Yep, perfect
So,
metaphor.
and the thing is, everything that we do is waves of energy, sound waves, you name it. So that if you miss a wave, guess what? There's another one coming. Okay, but typically entrepreneurial people and even people in business have seen it. They're going flat out to shore. That while the waves coming, they're actually getting sucked back in, and they're just exhausted.
Yeah.
So by the time a wave comes, it just picks them up and barrels them, and they end up upside down on the sand.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
stop, relax, have fun, wait for the next wave of energy, and then go through it.
Yeah, enjoy the process. Like enjoy the surf. Like literally.
Exactly.
Love it.
And it's like, look, everything's in waves. So it's exactly the same wave as how you approach it. Do you hop on it and have a bit of fun, relax, and then take that journey in? Or do you get exhausted and barreled by it? Or do you get smacked in the face by it? Either way.
The choice is yours.
Yeah, it's how you approach it and how you want it. Yeah, so it really is hard and it's frustrating. And for me, I went into an industry and I've gone, right, this is where I'm going to go. Okay, it was nothing about, let's just see what happens. I had a mission. So I think everyone, you've got to really stop and go, right, what's my legacy? What do I want out of this?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is to basically travel and tour with the finest athletes of the world. And I do. I get paid to go to France and work with one of the main soccer superstars. You mentioned his name and you go, whoa. So they pay you for a week, business class flights, accommodation to fly to France to work with them only.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
and
nice.
Most people, you would go, hang on, that's probably 3-4 months work. And I got that in a week.
Nice.
And you look at that and go, this is the sort of stuff you can do. Business people, as an example, because with successful businesses, guess what? You take them from here to here. What is that worth in dollars? Okay. Don't get paid on a $1,000 or $2,000 a month. Get a percentage.
Yeah. I'm all for percentages.
Take a percentage of their increase. I mean, I've got professional golfers. Guess what? You take a percentage of a professional golfer's winnings and they're on $5 million a year. You know you're doing well.
Yep, absolutely. And the thing is, if they do well, you do well. It's
Yeah.
win-win.
But
Like,
they also
it's
know
a
to get to
no-brainer.
that point where they can do well, it takes a huge amount of mindset and focus, which means they're relying on you. You may not get paid for 2 years,
Mhm, mhm.
but when you do get paid, trust me, when you're on $500,000 a year from one client, you know it's worth it.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
seriously, you got to start thinking big in this industry, start collaborating, start going, that's not the client I want, but that's your ideal client for this person.
Absolutely.
I'm not a
Love it.
huge person for weight loss, but I get good results, but that's not my thing. I just go, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and then it becomes a grind, so you might as well just go stack shelves at the grocery store or something because
Oh, yeah,
you
exactly.
don't be self-employed to be in a grind.
Yeah,
So yeah.
exactly. And
So,
just seriously have fun doing it.
yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for that, Stuart. And we will
Welcome.
see you on the Brekkie panel. Do you plan on wearing a onesie or having chicken and champagne or a protein shake?
Well, I think there's enough chickens around Hypnosis, isn't it?
Yeah, there is these days.
Oh, that
Absolutely.
thing. Do you turn me into a chicken? I went, yeah, if you really want to, but what's the
Yeah.
benefit?
Yeah. What's the benefit of that? I don't.
But
Yeah, I don't
no, I
get it.
turn chickens into champions.
Golden fried.
Go.
Oh, so thank you everybody for tuning in and watching Stuart. He will be on the breakfast panel. We will be having a open-ended discussion and it's not pre-scripted. It's completely winged. So bring your breakfast, bring yourself, bring your cat, your dog, just come along and have some fun.
Exactly. Thanks,
All right.
everyone. See you there.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
Hello. You gotta unmute yourself. Testing, testing, bananas and cheese. I can hear you. Talk. Oh, now you're unmuted. Hang on. No, still can't hear you, babe. How do you feel about bloopers?
That's my life is one big blooper.